Hey everyone! Today I thought I'd kind of just tell you a little story about myself and the experience that I had over the summer because it kind of relates to why I haven't been making a lot of videos or anything. I've been having a really hard time. Okay, so I guess I'll start from the beginning. I want to tell you guys how I got my license because it seems like a really simple thing to do, but I had a horrible time doing it. When I was in driver's ed class for my school, you had to be in a car that had 3 people crammed into the back seat of a really small car, and then one person driving, and then the instructor in the passenger side. And my instructor was this old man. He obviously knew what he was talking about, but he made me very nervous all the time. And I'm a shy person, so I didn't want to be driving and having people in the back that I didn't even know. It was horrible, but somehow I got through that. I had a lot of tough days where it was just I'd make one little mistake and it would have ruined the rest of my day, the rest of my driving. You really only drive for 20-25 minutes when you have that many people in one car, but it was just really nerve-wracking for me. And that led up to me having to take my driver's test, which was a whole different sense of horribleness. My birthday is in the summer. It's on July 16th, and my road test was scheduled for July 19th. So I didn't have any time to fool around. I was really supposed to be practicing, but my mom works at home, so I couldn't really go out and drive with her, and then my dad doesn't get home from work until 8:30 at night, so we couldn't go when it was day out. So on the 18th, my dad took work off, and he woke me up because I'm a lazy teenager, and I was still sleeping at 11:30, and he was like, when you get a chance, I want you to get your keys, and we're going to go out and practice driving, which made me extremely nervous because I had just gotten my new car. Well, it's not new, but it's my car. And what had happened was we had picked one out. We loved it. It was a blue Ford Escort from 1998, which sounds really old, but that's what happens when you're buying a used car. You gotta go pretty old. And we liked it. It had an okay price, and we were gonna buy it. And the seller contacted us after we had said, you know what, we're interested. And he said, listen, I got the car inspected. The whole underneath of the car is rusted. I cannot sell this to a teenager, and it's not something that I can do. So we had to scramble to find another one, or else I was going to be driving my mom's Equinox, which is kind of like a mom van type thing, and that was just not going to work for me. The car was too big. So we ended up getting a 2002 Ford Escort, which is the same car. But the thing about a Ford Escort is it has a really long front and a really long rear or back, which I know has a lot to do with safety. It's apparently more safe, but that makes parallel parking extremely hard. And for the New York State road test, you have to learn how, well, not learn, you have to know how to 3-point turn, parallel park, do all the turns, and obviously the left at the light, which doesn't really make sense to me considering while you're taking a road test, you can't guarantee that the light's going to be green, and you're going to have to do that whole stop in the intersection and wait thing. But you still have to learn how to do that. So I was really nervous, but we went anyway. We went up to the area where my test was going to be, me and my dad, and we were just driving around. And the thing about driving with your parents is they're either really way too nice to you about what you do or way too nervous. And my dad is one of the nervous people. He was like, you're going too fast, you're going too slow, you need to do this, you didn't do this. And having that made me extremely nervous because I was used to having the complete strange man telling me all this weird stuff about how I was doing. And we had gotten into kind of not really a fight, but a disagreement because Well, we were on one road, it was a 20 mile an hour, and then the one that we turned onto was 40. So I obviously went a little faster because there was someone behind me, and my dad didn't know that the speed limit had changed, so he was kind of like yelling, and it was just, I got way too nervous. So when the time came for me to practice my parallel park, he was still, acting that way. I was still really nervous. And what they teach you in driver's ed is to parallel park. You have to line up your car next to the other one, and then you have to turn your wheels so many times to the left and so many times to the right, and then back up, and it's just a long process because they make you do it in steps. So I was getting ready sorry, this is just an embarrassing story, I guess, to line up my car, and I don't know what happened in the 5 seconds it really took to do this, but my car was way too close to the other one, and my right mirror on my dad's side hit the other car, and all I remember is my dad swearing at the top of his lungs, and I pulled off to the side of the road, and I just started crying. I was like, this is horrible, this is the worst experience ever, I'm never going to drive again. I was traumatized. I was done. I was so done. And my dad's like, okay. He got out of the car, he started knocking on doors to figure out whose car it was. We finally found the person, and they had at least like a 45-minute talk. And by the end, I was like having my first ever panic attack. I couldn't breathe. I was like wheezing, I was coughing, I was like looking around, I was wearing makeup, it was running down my face, down my cheeks. Anything that could be going wrong in that moment just went wrong. And the next thing I remember is the man whose car it was walked over to my car, and he knocked on the window, and I kind of just looked at him and I was like, what's going on? Is he going to yell at me right now? And he did, one of these. So I rolled down my window, and he looked at me, and he was like, listen. And I was just bawling. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I couldn't get out words. And he just looked at me. He was like, I have hit people coming out of my own driveway at parties. Like, I have hit people at weddings. I have hit someone at funerals. Everyone does this at some point, and you cannot let this day define the rest of your life. And I was just staring at him. I didn't know what else to say, and he was like, from what I can see, you do know what you're doing. You need to take this experience and let it affect you in a good way and not look at it in a bad light, because I was obviously bawling, and he shook my hand, and he just kind of walked away. And what he said kind of got to me in a way that I was like, I can't give up with this. Like, I need to be able to do this. This is my goal. I want to be able to drive to school in September. I need this. It has to happen. So we got home. I was still really flustered. I was calling my friends. I was like, I'm never going to drive again. Like, calling all my friends and just like bawling, and them being like, it'll be fine. You should still go. And I'm like, no, I can't go tomorrow. I'm going to fail. And I'm just going to have a really bad day, and then I'll cry even more because it's after my birthday. And they're just like, you can do it. So my dad came down the stairs, and he said, listen, I looked online. The next available test is August 22nd. So I would have to wait a whole nother month, and I had already had my permit for over a year at that point because I got it on my 16th birthday. And I looked at him, and I just calmed myself, and I was like, listen. Well, yeah, I laid down my law. No, I was just like, Dad, I want to prove to you that I can do this. I want to go tomorrow. This is something that I need to do for my future. I can't be scared of it. And I just, take me back out, and I'll show you that I can do this. So that is basically what we did. We went out into my driveway, and he parked his car on the side of the road, and I parallel parked next to it 3 times, and all the times I made it, and it was fine. It was, I was relieved, but I was still nervous, and he looked at me, he's like, okay, I'm gonna give you the permission, like, I'll take you tomorrow, we can go. So I was like, okay, and the day came, and the DMV woman picked the stupidest spot for me to do my parallel park. it was on a hill. Like, the car she told me to park near was on a hill, and I was gonna have to park behind it on a hill, and I was just really nervous. And she kind of looked at me and she's like, have you done this on a hill before? And I'm like, no. And she's like, it'll be fine, you'll be fine. And I was like, okay. And so she kind of pushed me to do it, and I did it, and I ended up getting my license, and I only got 5 points off out of the 30 you can get without failing, and that had to do with a wrong turn she told me to take. So I was excited, as like I knew that what that man had told me really was correct, that you need to have that self-confidence level before you do anything to believe in yourself, that you can't give up on the little things, and you can't let those little things affect you in a negative way whatsoever. But of course I still kind of have those like iffy moments about driving, which leads me into why I haven't been making a lot of videos lately. My first day of school was on Wednesday, and the way me and my friend planned it out was that she lives half an hour away, so she was going to come to my house, and then we were going to drive to school together, because to give you kind of an estimate, my school has 900 seniors in it, and we all have to fit into one parking lot. It's very small, so we try to get there as early as possible. And in the course of like having those back to school jitters and trying to go places, and saying this is like the first day I'm going to use a parking permit, like I'm so nervous, pulling out of my driveway, I managed to hit my own mailbox, which probably sounds stupid to you. You guys are probably like, how do you even do that? And to be honest, things like this, they happen so fast. I do remember that my sister had driven the car the day before on Tuesday, and had parked my car with like the steering wheel turned all the way one direction. This is why I was trying to get around my friend and around my sister's car, because my driveway is full, because my mom, my dad, my sister, and my grandparents have a car parked in our driveway. So I was trying to do too many things at once, and it was just horrible. So I rolled down my window and I looked at my friend. I just kind of yelled across the street, and I was like, did I hit my mailbox? Like, did that really just happen? She looked at me and she goes, did you feel it? And I was like, no. And she goes, well, the way I saw it, you ran over the curb. So I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. So I drove to school, freaking oblivious as all hell, and I sat through all my classes, 9 periods of stupid presentations, and I got back out to the parking lot to drive myself home, and my car had a white stripe about yay big on its bumper, and I started crying right there in the parking lot. I called my mom. I was like, I really screwed up, you're gonna be so mad at me, Dad's gonna be mad at me. I was having another like panic attack, and she was like, you're gonna be okay, you just need to come home. So what I've been doing for the past 2 days is, because the actual paint on my car's green and my mailbox is white. The green wasn't scratched off or anything. The white was really old paint, so it kind of just like rubbed onto my car. So there was no dent. So I spent 9 hours, because we had Thursday off for a Jewish holiday, scrubbing my car and getting that white stripe just off of it and gone completely. And I've just been so embarrassed, and because of that I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't taken my car out except to go to school today, obviously, and I was really careful about it. And I mean, obviously, going back to what I've learned, I think I just need to keep moving on. I mean, I made my mistake and I took the time to fix it, and then I made my mistake with the mailbox and I took the time to fix it. And today I parked in a whole other place on the driveway. Thought about parking in the street just to make sure like I'm safe. Like, the point of this is that I learned from my mistakes, and I hope that if you guys ever get into these situations, you can learn from whatever you do wrong too. Everybody makes mistakes. When my mom said that to me after I hit the mailbox, I thought she was being crazy, but it is true. Everybody does make mistakes, and you have to either learn from them or just just freeze and not do anything. And from what I've learned, doing something helps you a lot more in the long run, and you just have to believe in yourself that there are things that you can do. Other than that, my family and I went to Cape Cod. I got super bad sunburn, so I was going to do subscriber shoutouts on Monday, and those never happened. I'm looking at you. Your names are Hail Snail and a Vision Subject. I messaged you guys asking you what characters you liked, because I had already made half of it. I'm not going to give it away, obviously, but that is basically what I'm doing with my weekend now, because I want to make that up to you guys. I don't make promises that I don't keep, so hopefully you're not watching this like, why is she talking about cars and not doing what she said she was going to do? So that is coming up, and hopefully a heavier stream of videos will be coming your way. So hopefully you guys have had a better week than I have, and this stupid story of mine is something you can learn from. And I will see you guys later.